UFC 259 took place on March 6th, 2021, and we had 3 dope title fights at the top of the card. We had Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling for the bantamweight title. We had Amanda Nunes and Megan Anderson for the women's featherweight title. And we had Jan Blachowicz, I can never say his name right, Blachowicz, against Israel Stylebender Adesanya for the light heavyweight title bout. All right, so Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. Spoiler alert, it ended in a disheartening way. But to start off, odds-wise, it was dead even. And I believe the general consensus was that, standing up, Peter Yan had the upper hand, and on the ground, Aljamain Sterling would have the upper hand there. Peter Yan was getting the better of Aljamain Sterling, in my opinion, because he was taking him down seemingly at will. And also, he was connecting a lot more efficiently. He had less of an output, but at a higher percentage in terms of his striking. But it was definitely not a one-sided fight because Aljamain was landing more, but that was as a result of having higher output. So in terms of percentage and efficiency, his was a bit less. He did fail to take down Peter Yan as much. I believe he only had like 1 successful takedown versus Peter Yan's 7, I believe was the official count. Then in the 4th round, Peter Yan illegally kneed Aljamain in the head while he was down. So Aljamain was considered a downed opponent because his knees and I believe one hand was down, and Peter Yan kneed him in the head, which is considered an illegal move in that position, which sucks because Peter Yan, he was seemingly winning or on his way to winning the bout, and because of that move, he was disqualified. Then it sucks on the other end for Aljamain because who wants to win like that? And it sucks for the fans, obviously, because we get cheated out of seeing the fight go to fruition, and it's just like dissatisfying all around. And what's even worse is that Peter Yan was supposedly asking his corner in Russian if he can hit him or if he's downed. And there was like a miscommunication. I believe one of his cornermen said yes, and the other one said no. And that miscommunication led to the illegal knee. So just fucking sucked all around. But because of that disqualification, Aljamain Sterling is now the bantamweight title champion. So congrats to him. Even though it's obviously like bittersweet, he himself like took the belt off when they gave it to him and threw it on the floor. Like he wasn't happy about it. But you could see he was like completely dazed and couldn't even like sit or walk straight. Then next up, we had Amanda Nunes versus Megan Anderson for the featherweight title bout. And every time you have a GOAT like Amanda Nunes that's fighting, you always wonder, is this going to be like the one when she loses? Not that she's undefeated, but since she lost many years ago, I believe once or twice, and I was speaking with my brother's best friend, Omar, shout out to Omar, about the fact that Amanda also has a new baby at home. That was kind of like, is she going to be softer now because she has a kid? And that can go one of two ways, right? You can go that route of getting softer and, now it's like family mode type of thing, or it can be fuel and motivation to, double down on whatever it is that you're doing. That doubled with the fact that Megan is like a lot taller and she's like big and strong. And those are usually advantages that Amanda has versus her opponents, right? She's usually like the bigger fighter. But literally 2 minutes into the first round, after Megan Anderson landed 2 hits, which was 1 kick to the body and 1 kick to the leg, Amanda landed 3 leg kicks and 15 headshots. Had Megan dazed and submitted her fairly quickly. Again, the bout ended 2 minutes and 3 seconds into the first round. Amanda Nunes is just truly the GOAT. It's like, I don't even know who she would fight next. They say maybe Shevchenko, because she gave her like the most competition, but she already fought her twice, I believe. And she did give her the most competition, and the second time gave her more competition than the first time, so maybe. I tweeted out, and my recommendation would be that she just starts fighting dudes, because she has like no competition. Not yet, anyway. So hats off to Amanda Nunes, the champ. And last but not least, at the top, we had Jan Blachowicz. I fucked that up again. Versus Israel Stylebender Adesanya Now, Stylebender is the champ at middleweight, and he was moving up to face Jean, which is the light heavyweight champion. And you always root for, or at least I do, like someone moving up in weight and taking on like such a significant challenge, and someone just attempting to become a champ. There's not many of them. I think there's like 3 or 4, including Amanda Nunes, which I just mentioned, ever in the UFC history. Stylebender, I'm just a big fan of. I've spoken about him in the past on the show, and he's an up-and-coming, not even up-and-coming anymore, he's a UFC star. So it was like dope to see. Obviously, you want the storybook ending for the person that you're rooting for, that goes up in weight and wins and becomes a champ, etc. But that did not happen this time around. Stylebender was out-wrestled, I would say. Jean is, a lot bigger, and was able to, for a lot of the 4th round, the majority of the 5th, just like take him down, hold him down, and not let Izzy like get his shit off. But while they were standing, he definitely held his own. He didn't get like knocked out or anything. And Izzy Stylebender is known as like one of the best strikers within the UFC. So we definitely saw that. But alas, with the takedowns and getting out wrestled, etc., he lost in a unanimous decision. But what's cool to see though after the fact is, just as gracious as John was in winning, Izzy was also like gracious in defeat. And with more of a, I'm going to go back to middleweight, continue dominating that division, and, get better, come back, try again, go back to the drawing board, etc. As opposed to, like making excuses and having like a defeatist type attitude, etc. So that was pretty dope to see. And that's what I got for you folks for UFC 259.